Hey, what's up everybody? Oscar with Third Pedal Foxbody here. In today's episode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my quad shocks on the notchback because when I bought this car, it didn't come with quad shocks. Now, some people take them off, some people put them on. So in this episode, I'm going to explain to you guys why I want to put them back on. So let's get right to it, guys. Now, when I bought my Foxbody notchback, this car didn't come with these 17-inch Cobra wheels. It came with some Cobra R replicas, and when I bought these wheels, they did come with a 315-inch tire, so they're pretty wide. So one of the things that I wanted to try to do is put quad shock back onto this, and the reason why I wanted to do that is because I personally believe that the quad shocks will help the car ride a little better. So when I bought my car, it already came with lower control arms. And most people would be okay with just having lower control arms, but I don't have aftermarket upper control arms. So for that same reason, I want to put the quad shocks back on. So let's go ahead and remove this wheel. So now that I have the wheel off, let's come and take a quick look to see what we have in here. So inside of here, it seems like I only have this nut to worry about, and then removing this right here in order to reinstall the quad shock. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a 15 millimeter, and this might be a 17 millimeter. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and remove this one real quick. I'm gonna mock up the quad shock, and then I'm gonna see if my wheel fits in with it. So I might have to turn it. That's one thing that a lot of people do. They turn the quad shock, and I can already tell that somebody tried to get some bigger tires in here, because as I can see, this was being hammered, that was being hammered, that was being hammered, trying to make space for a much bigger wheel. And hopefully my wheels can still fit with the quad shocks on. In 1987, there was a little slight change in the suspension to the Foxbody Mustang. The Mustang GT, the 5.0 liter LX suspension, both the front struts, right and rear shocks were gas filled. The horizontal hydraulic dampener were part of the quadro shock system, which helped control axle or wheel hop under hard acceleration and cornering situations. This is one of the reasons why in 1987 they went ahead and started using the quad shock system. So one of the reasons why many other people began to take the quad shock off is because when they started introducing a heavier, bigger, and thicker wheel, it was getting in the way. So because of that, most people ended up taking it off. But in my case, in my situation, one of the reasons why I want to put it back on is because I want to enjoy the right quality of the cars. All right, now that I have the quad shock just kind of sitting in there right now, I just want to go ahead and see if we're gonna have any rubbing issues or if I need to spin it or turn it. So I want to see if we have enough clearance. And if we have enough clearance, I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten it down. All right, now that I put the wheel kind of back on, I'm gonna bring you guys down here with me so you guys can see. Unfortunately, it does not clear the wheel. And I want to show you guys. There it is, the quad shock right there. And the wheel's rubbing right up against it. Now, I could essentially try to use a spacer, but I don't think I want to use a spacer. So does it clear or does it rub? Yeah, I think it rubs just a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the lug nuts on it, and I'm gonna see if I could spin the wheel, see if it rubs. All right, I have the quad shock on, and unfortunately it does not clear this tire. As you all can see right there, it rubs right there. This quad shock is a little too thick, so that's not gonna work. I know I've seen quad shocks that are a lot thinner than this. So what I think I have to do is either I'm gonna have to get some different ones or size down on the tire so that I can fit it. But as of today, that is not gonna work out. Now I was hoping that the quad shock would work. Unfortunately it didn't, but that's no problem. Once I size down on the tire, I'm sure it's gonna work. I don't know exactly what size tire I'm gonna get, but eventually I definitely want to get a thinner tire. So I just wanted to make sure I mocked it up and see. When you're buying car parts for your Mustang, it's really important to test fit everything, you know, because as I've been buying parts little by little here and there, I've noticed that I've come across a lot of issues with the parts that I buy because of certain things. This is nothing too major. This is just a swap of a tire, getting a different tire for the car. But it would be nice to have a tire this wide. It makes the car look really nice. It gives it a better stance. But this rim itself is just not made for a 315 tire. This rim itself is probably made just for like a 245 45 17, which is probably what came stock on this wheel in the Cobras. And somebody went ahead and put these 315s on there, which, you know, we all want to have 315s or even bigger, you know, makes the car look really nice. But if I want to have those quad shocks back on, I definitely have to go to a 245 45. And I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. On top of that, these tires are already kind of cracked and old. I definitely need to downsize, or just figure out my 10.5 inch rim situation that I have, because I do have some other wheels for this car, and I'm not really sure if I'm going to even be able to use those tires because they're even wider. So it's a 10.5 inch rim. This is a 9.5 inch rim. The tire, the 315, is rubbing on that. Quad shocks, so I don't even think I could use the other wheels, to be honest with you. So I really got to think about what I really want to do and stop buying parts just to buy parts, because I mean, I've been collecting parts, brand new parts for this Foxbody, and then until I started working on them, right? But now that I'm test fitting a lot of the parts, I feel like I could have saved a lot more money having a direct plan, thinking of what I really need to do or what I really want to do with the car versus just buying stuff, trying them on, they don't fit, and then here we have this situation. So not a bummer, but definitely an eye-opener. So if you have one of these cars, make a plan, because chances are you don't want to just spend money, more money, and then not even be able to use the parts you have. So all right, guys, so that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Unfortunately, my quad shocks did not fit on my car. The 315 inch tire is way too wide for them. Even if I flip it around, it still didn't fit. Now, I have seen some quad shocks that are a lot thinner than these are. These are the KYB quad shocks. Unfortunately, these are not gonna work out for me. I did purchase these at a really fair price, a really good deal, so I'm not too bad about that. But now my current situation, I think what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna use a 245 45 tire for the meantime, especially since I know that these are 9.5 inch wheels and they're not made for a 315 tire. I really don't like the look of it. I really don't like that it bulges out. So I'm really considering sizing down on the tire, because like I said, these wheels, they were not made for a 315 tire. Now, if you guys like these videos, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna be dropping videos almost every day, or if not every other day. There's a lot to do on this car, and there's a lot of content to be made so that you guys can kind of follow along with what's going on. Every day I'm trying something new. I have a lot of parts that I would like to try to retrofit, see if they work in the car and see if they don't work. And then this is just my way of making sure that once I get the car out, I want to make sure that I'm comfortable driving it. And this was one of those situations where I wanted to put the quad shocks because, you know, if they came with quad shocks, it was for a reason. You know, Ford paid a lot of money to make sure that their suspension was pretty good. Now, my car does have aftermarket lower control arms, but I've read that even though you have lower control arms, if you don't upgrade the upper control arms, then, you know, having the quad shocks is probably your best bet for a good ride quality. So like I said, I'm not gonna be racing this car. I'm not gonna be doing nothing crazy with it. So I just really wanna sit in the car, put a lot of miles in it, and be comfortable while I do it. And I think the quad shock is gonna be something that I definitely can tell the difference. And you know, I've had Fox bodies in the past and they've all had quad shocks and they all feel great. So thank you all so much again for tuning in. I really appreciate everybody who has been subscribing to the channel. I'll have some more content for you guys in the next couple days. So thanks again. Stay tuned for that. I'll see you on the next one.